You're my honey bun, sugar plum, pumpy umby umpkin. You're my sweetie pie.
Welcome to another edition of Digging Up Positivity. This month's edition we will cover several conventions, a lot of animation news and a furry with a rather unique and exciting hobby. Last month surely was busy. It's the summer after all, thus we have events every week. Last month I was at El Mundo Fantasia in the deep south of the Netherlands and the 5th Fantasy Meeting and Fair in Coevoorden. This weekend I will be at the Comic Fair in Berlicum and of course soon we will have Euroferns. Maybe I'll see you there. And this year we see many new countries have their own furry conventions, such as Party Along in Anthro, Indonesia, on the island of Jakarta, and Super Furry Fusion in China. And in other corners of the world we had South Afrifur celebrating their 3rd edition. From the looks of it they had a lot of fun and the community in South Africa seems very friendly and close. And of course, last month several furry conventions have raised a fair share for charity. Here's a selection. First of all, we have AnthroCon. For many, this convention is their highlight of the year. The first installment was in 1997 and with this, it's one of the longest running conventions to date. This year, 9,358 visitors attended this huge convention and together they raised $46,440 for the Pearl Parrot Rescue. Elsewhere, we had Anthro Week in Utah, where 913 critters managed to raise $2,677.58 for Wild Wonders, an animal rescue and education facility which homes the injured, displaced and other less fortunate animals. And in turn, these animals help to educate visitors about the wonders of the animal kingdom. And last but not least, I'd like to cover Itty Bitty FurCon, a smaller convention with just 427 attendees, but they managed to raise $5,531 for Phoenix Herb, a non-profit organization in Arizona dedicated to educating, rehabilitating and preserving native and non-native reptiles. If you're driving past one of the Los Angeles water reservoirs, you might not just see a body of water, but more something that resembles the world's biggest ball pit. Veritasium made a wonderful little video on why this is. Turns out it just doesn't only help against evaporation, it also helps against the formation of bromate. We're not talking about the formation of chyle, but a substance that can be quite harmful for your health when ingested in large amounts. On top of all of this, the algae problem has been solved as well, and all these 96 million balls, costing around 40 cents a piece, will last up to 10 years and are fully recyclable. Now, besides visiting the world's biggest ball pit, you can just wander along on the beachside, which is exactly what a mob of meerkats in the Southend Zoo in the UK were thinking. They broke out of their exhibit and promptly started to explore the beachside, including a mini golf course. Many people were of course amused at this odd sight. Fortunately, at the end of the day, the meerkats were escorted back to the quarters in the zoo and none of the meerkats got hurt. Well, they had a fun day, that's for sure. And from creative meerkats we go to creative people. Here we see a video with a lovely demonstration from this amazing walking stick with a snake and what I thought was at first a real mouse carved from wood. Throughout the video you can see piece by piece how this amazing walking stick came to be and the creative usage of the various materials and tools provided. Our next topic is slightly more advanced than just wood. This fellow made an organ using Furbies. Yes, you heard it right, those amazing popular little plushies from all those years ago. He wired them together and made an organ out of it. The result is weird, but I couldn't stop watching. This month the trailer of the movie Cats came out. The theater version to this day is loved by many, so the expectations were high. While the choreography is certainly very good and the cast does pull its weight, many were less inclined towards the very odd choice regarding the faces. UK newspaper Metro even went as far as asking what furries think of this very trailer. While I understand the original reasoning of the theater play, which was executed wonderfully, this solution clearly didn't settle many when used as modern 3D animation. Now with this in mind, I'd like to show you some stills from Steven Spielberg's proposition of this lovely play. He had some changes in mind though. He wanted the stage to be set in London after the World War, where the famous city is mostly in ruins, which resulted in some wonderful mood sketches by the back then broken city. Unfortunately, it never made to the big screen, but it still did promise something that would certainly catch my attention. Speaking of realistic animation, this month the Lion King remake was released. Personally, I do prefer the classical version, but I can see why many love the remake. And those who need a recap, the animator Cas van der Pol has made an amazing and funny recap animation of this animated feature, which I have linked below. But not everything needs to be realistic and 3D. A while ago there was a Cartoon Network pitch called Infinity Train. The new and original animation and a very unique way of storytelling quickly caught the attention of many of animation enthusiasts, and it didn't take long before people started to ask for more, and Cartoon Network finally caved and listened. On August the 5th there will be a 5-night special event announced at the tweet I linked below. Another movie that is in the making is 100% Wolf, about a werewolf, just not one that you might expect. From the Belgium studio 100, they released a trailer that really looks quite interesting. The studio itself is known for their many children animations such as Maya the Bee, Niels Holgersson and Vic the Viking. On the subject of our canine friends, Artic Dog released our latest trailer last month, telling the story of Swifty, the Arctic fox who dreams to become a top dog one day. But for now he's stuck on his delivery job. Will he succeed? Who knows? The movie itself is scheduled to be released in November later this year. Every now and then you see furries in the news, but it's not that often that they're focused on a furry entrepreneur. And so now it happens to be that local American news transmitter CBS 2 News Morning covered Lemonbrat's costume. It's nice to see that the fursuit makers are getting some extra love. After all, they're the motor behind all those pretty costumes, mine included. And this month's Digging Up Positivity featurette is all about FreyFox.
Hello.
I've seen you online a couple of times, and you are busy with something that is quite unique in the furry fandom. Could you tell us something more about it?
Well, I'm working on robot combat in the Antweight class. So basically, I'm fighting RC-controlled vehicles that weigh up to 150 grams and must fit within the confines of a 4-inch cube. And we basically battle them all in a 5mm polycarbonate box at events around the country.
Oh wow, this is a unique hobby, but you're fighting on a professional level?
Well, I'm fighting against professionals, yes. I've competed at 2 events, Antweight World Series 56 and Antweight World Series 58, which was just the other month actually. And I've also taken part in an internet TV show called Antweight Anarchy that's more for entertainment purposes and outright competition. But yeah, some of the most professional people, all the way down to hobbyists and RC fans, come and compete at these events. And we've had some very interesting designs and unique competitors that have competed, and sometimes ingenuity has been rewarded greatly.
That is really cool. And knowing you as a fox, I'm sure that you integrated something of yourself in the design of your robots. Can you tell more about that?
I've got several robots, although they're not all furry themed. I have one that's shaped like a black stealth bomber called Polaris, which has got a front hinge flipper on it to flip over other robots. I've got a white and red pushing bot with no active weapon that just uses its own self as the main weapon, called Proxima Centauri, and it is designed just to push other robots down the pit. And it has interchangeable weapons on the front, so I can swap out the wedge on the front for something that will be more suitable against another opponent. So I've got one weapon to trap opponents on top and another one to deflect spinners. And my third robot that I competed with, the AWS-58, is a furry robot. It is called Sprocket Raccoon, and it's a 4-wheel drive tank of a robot with a lifting shovel on the front. And it was quite a crowd favourite, I can tell you that. A lot of people really dug the design and they loved the attitude of Sprocket as well.
That is really cool, and I like the pun in the name. You did mention spinners and the pits. Could you explain a little bit more about the rules of combat?
Well, the rules are quite straightforward. The main object is to defeat your opponent by knockout. And that usually involves either pushing them down a pit that's in the arena, whether it's on the corners or at the sides, or you simply immobilize them by flipping them upside down, and if they can't sit upright, or if a spinner or another robot does enough damage to them to actually break the wheels off or break something inside. Basically, if you achieve a knockout by KO, you win. If the battle runs to a full 3 minutes though, it will go to a judge's decision, and that will be how they decide who wins that battle.
This all is quite a spectacle, as you can see with the videos that I will be having on the screen right now. But before we go, where can we find you, and especially where can we find videos of those awesome battles?
Well, the videos are on my YouTube account, which is FreyFox, and there's also full-length video of Antweight World Series 58 provided by Harry Husky on his Team Panoramic YouTube account. If you type in Antweight World Series 58, you'll see the videos and you'll get to see me compete. And also, I'm active on Furfinity under my old name, Keenyfox, Keenyfox, and I'm on Twitter as well as FreyFox87.
Thank you very much for your time, and all the videos and links will of course be in the description below. And yeah, have a good one, and I'm certainly going to subscribe to your channel to check out more of your videos.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for watching this month's Digging Up Positivity. We'll be back with another episode around the 31st of August. And a big thanks to my sponsors Ishnura, Elsdekkers, Taros, Kitako, Falconeo, Hanzana and Scorechaser. Stay awesome and all the hugs.